Back in the 90s, there was nothing bad you could say about actress Stacey Dash. She was known as the effortlessly chic black girl from the film Clueless and Kanye West's stylish love interest in the music video For All Falls Down. You couldn't tell her nothing. She was, as the kids say, that girl.
Period, Pooh. Ain't that something the kids say too? Period, Pooh. I think so.
But the decades that followed became her undoing. Fame is a strange, slippery slope. It can immortalize you, or it can expose cracks that were always there. And with Stacey, those cracks widened, pulling her further and further away from the community that once embraced her. So how did Stacey go from being the it girl to being uninvited to the cookout? Well, before we dive into it, don't forget to scoop up something to munch on at rrgsnacks.com, our online concession stand that has an assortment of Applewood smoked bacon jerky, freeze-dried goodies, and butter toffee peanuts. To give you a little more insight into Stacey's life, we must take you back to the day she was born, January 20th, 1967. In her memoir, which we've linked down below, Stacey revealed her parents struggled with substance addiction to the point where they could no longer take care of her. At the age of 2, they dropped her off in the projects with a family she had never seen before. The family practiced a religion that was a mix of Catholicism and superstition, and the man of the house was strict and volatile. Her parents would visit every now and then, pick her up, and drop her off at a new stranger's house. It became the norm for Stacey to be left with unfamiliar people as her parents' addiction destroyed their lives. As an adult, Stacey has moved from one relationship to another, which we discussed in a previous video linked in our description box. She also battled substance issues, mirroring the same struggles her parents faced. At one point, she was spending $5,000 to $10,000 a month on substances. Her habits derailed her career and reshaped how the public perceived her. What once was admiration for her beauty and talent began to sour. When Mitt Romney was trying to unseat our forever President Barack Obama in 2012, Stacey had the clueless nerve to tweet, "Vote for Romney, the only choice for your future." Her tweet included a photo of herself wearing a red bathing suit with an American flag in the background.
Girl, really? Really?
Yes, she was for real. And so was the backlash. According to CBS News, things got racial quickly because fans couldn't wrap their heads around a black woman backing a Republican candidate.
And before y'all start, yes, we know not all black people are Democrats, okay? Now shut your ass up.
Okay, Auntie. So anyway, the backlash was immediate, with one online user telling her that an unemployed black woman had no business supporting a Republican candidate. However, Stacey was unbothered and defended herself by tweeting, "My humble opinion, everyone is entitled to one." From there, Stacey appeared on Piers Morgan Tonight. During the interview, she stated that although she had voted for Obama in 2008, she didn't like the current state of the country and wanted to see things change in the next 4 years. She said she believed in Romney after watching him and his wife on TV because they seemed authentic and genuine. Stacey said she didn't understand the backlash she received and expressed shock and sadness. But this wouldn't be the last time she would experience something like this. In 2013, Beyoncé and Jay took a trip to Cuba to celebrate their anniversary. The vacation appeared to violate the U.S. tourism embargo against the country, which prohibits recreational trips to Cuba. Once Stacey heard about the Carters' trip, she tweeted, "Do you care that the Jay-Z's have taken the capital you have given them and funded a communist, oppressive regime?"
Yeah, not the Jay-Z's. LMAO. Oh. Girl, the Jay-Z's. I'm officially done for today. I'm done.
Of course, Beyoncé and Jay-Z's fans came for her neck, with one person stating they were more offended that Stacey was transferring capital to the oppressive GOP. It was later confirmed by a source familiar with the trip and through a Freedom of Information Act request that the Carters' visit was authorized by the U.S. Treasury Department under a people-to-people educational license. Stacey never apologized for her tweet, and things would only get worse from there. For all her hard work pandering to conservatives, Stacey made it to Fox News, but in 2015, she was suspended from the network after declaring on the air that then President Obama didn't give a about terrorism. Looking back on the incident and the way Fox News conducts itself today, it's hard to imagine that her statement would result in her suspension, especially since she had said worse things, like the time she went after Oprah Winfrey for comparing the tragedies of Emmett Till and Trayvon Martin, and the time she tweeted support for TV chef Paula Deen during her N-word controversy. And let's not forget when she claimed that Obama and his policies weren't benefiting minorities, keeping them stuck because they were getting money for free. She said these controlled minorities had a plantation mentality and were uneducated. Stacey claimed that Democrats had black people under their thumb, so they couldn't think for themselves. Yeah, the Obama not caring about terrorism remark was not her worst, but it highlighted how out of touch she was with the black community. She eventually got fired from Fox News.
Bye, Ashley.
So Stacey was unemployed once again as 2016 rolled around. That year, after the Oscars announced their all-white nominees, calls for a boycott began. One person who didn't agree was Stacey, of course. Stacey said that black people needed to make up their minds whether they favored integration or segregation. She also added that if black people didn't want segregation, they needed to get rid of channels like BET and things like the Image Awards, where you're only awarded if you're black.
Wait. Ain't this helpful black? Or black-ish, at least? I'm confused. I am so confused. Is she talking like she ain't one of us? Is it the white mom effect? I'm asking for a friend. I mean, what her mama look like? Because I don't know what the hell going on. I got to figure this shit out.
Stacey called it a double standard because she said that if white people had TV stations and other things only for them, then black people would throw a hissy fit. Do you realize that the reason we have BET is because we weren't represented and celebrated on white channels? Oh, dumbass. And then she took things one step further by saying America shouldn't celebrate Black History Month.
Okay, it's given MAGA before MAGA. Did she start MAGA?
As you might have guessed, Stacey got dragged, including by BET. The network posted on Instagram, requesting she return the check they gave her for her appearance on their show, The Game. But one thing about Stacey, she's gonna stand 10 toes down on her ignorance. She wrote a rambling blog post titled How BET Lies to Black People. In the post, Stacey thanked BET for reminding her of her appearance on The Game, since most people have never heard of that show. Dr. Stacey Dash King said she looked forward to a day when people didn't self-segregate based on color while complaining about a segregated society.
Wait. Girl, did you say Dr. Stacey Dash King? Best of you a damn mess, I tell you, boy. You ain't got not a lick of sense.
Stacey concluded that BET lied to black people by convincing them that America is racist and they should stick to their own kind. She added, anything that promotes segregation is bad. As ridiculous as all that was, black people weren't the only people on Stacey's radar. A few months later, while speaking to Entertainment Tonight, she said she shouldn't have to suffer because people couldn't decide what gender they wanted to be that day. Of course, she was referring to the trans community. She also set her sights on Caitlyn Jenner and said that being trans was a choice. When the interviewer said that being trans wasn't a choice but was about people being born that way, Stacey argued that the trans movement was starting to infringe upon her rights too much. Things really went left when she was questioned about which bathroom trans people should use. Stacey responded that they should relieve themselves in the bushes. Believe it or not, she wasn't done with making outlandish statements. Only a few days later, Candace Owens Sr., Stacey, doubled down on her controversial comments. Speaking to The Hollywood Reporter about her new book, she admitted that although diversity was a problem in Hollywood, the only way to solve it was to stop being colorblind when casting for movies. She claimed that black people were the problem because they were segregating themselves by adopting the term Black Hollywood. She also stated that getting rid of black films would remove a lot of BS. Stacey also expressed how she felt shunned in Hollywood since the industry was so antagonistic towards conservatives.
Oh, so that's what this is all about. She mad because the conservatives kicked her to the curb and Black Hollywood don't want her ass either. Okay, I see. That's about right. Sound about right.
She said her acting roles had completely dried up and she lost a lot of friends and family members due to her beliefs.
You think?
Because of her strong politics, Stacey said people assumed she was racist, but that was impossible because she was half black and half Mexican.
Okay, but you're still an Oreo. I'm just saying. If your mama ever wasn't black Latina, then you're still an Oreo.
From there, she publicly endorsed Donald Trump ahead of his first presidential run. In 2021, she turned her back on conservatism after realizing she had been fed misinformation.
No Sherlock.
She denounced Trump and slammed her former employer, Fox News, for casting her as the angry black woman. What caused her to have a change of heart? Well, it had to do with the January 6th U.S. Capitol attack, which she called appalling and stupid. Stacey apologized for all her past hurtful comments, blaming them on her arrogant pride and anger. She promised to leave politics. She said she was officially a new Stacey, filled with compassion and empathy. She claimed that God had forgiven her, so she needed to forgive herself. By 2022, Stacey was sick of people saying she wasn't proud of being black. To prove her blackness, she made a TikTok video with the song Panda by Designer playing in the background. In the video, the words, "She hates black people, she hates being black" appear. They were then magically replaced with the words, "I love being a black Mexican Christian."
Bye, Felicia.
That didn't really help her cause, though. Many people thought it was more of a joke and begged her to just stop it. Others said that weak AF video didn't prove anything. Then there were the people who didn't even know she claimed to be Mexican in the first place. From clueless to loud and wrong conservative, people wondered how Stacey ended up on her destructive path. In 2024, she spoke openly about her long history with substances, which many thought she was using as an excuse for her past bizarre behavior. As of this video, she claims she's been drug-free for the past 8 years. However, some have doubts due to a concerning TikTok video in which she seemed a bit disoriented. While some decided to give her some grace, Stacey ticked a bunch of people off in September 2025 when she posted an Instagram video about the late political podcaster Charlie Kirk. In the video, she said the people who had a problem with Charlie's rhetoric were those who didn't like the truth.
I thought she was staying out of politics. What the happened?
They lit her up in the comments, especially given his history of what many perceived as hurtful remarks toward black people and other marginalized communities before his passing. Time is ruthless. The same woman who once embodied aspiration now finds herself ostracized, spoken about more as a cautionary tale than a cultural icon. The community that once embraced her has pushed her to the side, tired of the contradictions and her reckless mouth. She may call herself a new woman, but for many, the image of who she once was has been eclipsed by the wreckage she left behind. And at this point, we don't know if her career will ever recover. If you enjoyed this video, let us know down below. And thanks for watching RRG.